Hello there. This is Douglas Block. It is Wednesday. What is it? Oh, it's Albert Einstein's birthday, March 14th. How interesting. Because last night, the most brilliant mind since Albert Einstein passed away, Stephen Hawking. All you people from the UK should know about him, or he's actually world famous, but he grew up in London and he's British, or he was British. Made his major work in exploring and coming up with new theories about black holes. So it is now the 14th. It's only 6 days before spring, and we're having spring-like weather here in Portland, Oregon. No one's come on yet, but I am live, so I don't know where everybody is. Maybe they're out dealing with the spring weather also. But no, some of you will come on. Only take a minute and 14 seconds. Oh well. Anyway, who here knows about Stephen Hawking? Have you seen the movie about his life called The Theory of Everything? It's rather amazing. And there is Bashar Zako saying hi. Hello, my friend. Nice to see you again. And oh, Claire is here. Hassan, Tina Legrand. Hello from Washington. I don't think you've been on this live chat, have you? Love and respect from Morocco, says Hassan Marbet. Lena Strandberg, I don't think I've seen you read more. And it looks like there's a couple new people on the chat today. No, you're not late this time. No, you're not, Bashar. Anyway, I'm talking about Stephen Hawking. Today is Albert Einstein's birthday. Really quite a spiritual person, a Pisces. Talked about the oneness of humanity, and certainly he was not suffering from depression. I don't think he was. Hello, Forever Freak. Nice to hear from you, Melissa. Scott from the UK. At least you got it straight now, right? So, Scott, when does the UK go on daylight savings time? Right now, we're 7 hours difference from the UK. Normally, it's 8, but it's 7 hours now. Lena Strandberg, yes, you are new. Well, good. Better late than never. Tina Legrand, first time catching live, but we played a few. Started watching you recently. Well, great. We're having a nice subscriber growth on the channel. We've just passed 9,000. By my calculations, sometime by the end of April, we should pass 10,000 subscribers, which for me is a landmark. I know it in terms of the YouTube universe, it's pretty little, but hey. Denise of White, hi Doug. Wow, all His Grace's love. Okay, nice to see you. Fantastic. I think His Grace's love is Melissa. I called somebody else Melissa. Forever Freak. Sorry, I forgot your real name. Anyway, Denise of White is new. Tina Legrand is new. Lena Strandberg is new. Ruby Morton sounds like she's new. We got a couple of new people. And Claire, I don't know if Claire's been here before. Anyway, this is a live chat. I'm here for the next 50 minutes to answer any of your questions about mental health recovery, depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, the origins of the universe. So I guess we need Stephen Hawking for that. Have you all heard about Stephen Hawking's passing away? I hope so. Had a hard night, Danielle? Well, I'm glad you've been working out your job and been feeling toned. Remember, did you see my video called I'm Sick and Tired of Being Recovery? It's now had over 1,000 views in less than 6 days. People relate. In this video I posted on March 8th, I talked about how after 2 years of relative emotional wellness, I fell into a dip right before my birthday, and I was really frustrated, pissed off, because, why can't we just stay depression-free forever? Well, that's not the way this illness slash disease slash disorder works. It's recurring, it's ever-present, we just have to be prepared to deal with it a day at a time. I'm sure you know that, Danielle, Scott, you know that. I must admit, I don't know when DST starts, I don't pay attention to that sort of thing. Well, all right. Maybe I'll look it up on the internet. Everything's on the internet. I'll Google, when does daylight savings time start in the UK, because right now we're 7 hours difference. Welcome newcomers. Forever Freak is a loyal participant and a loyal channel person. I'm assuming you're a Patreon person. Sick of having physically sick and in pain, it makes total dips. They hung times worse. Yes, I know. I had a video I just did called The Effect of Physical Pain on the Depressed Mind. We have a new gal in my Monday group has something called fibromyalgia. Another new gal has got something called multiple sclerosis, or MS. I mean, those are autoimmune disease. Of course, it's going to make the depression worse. My brother's in chronic pain. He's going to a pain doctor's retreat in Florida. So yeah, all of us who are depressed and physically healthy, we should be thankful that at least we're physically healthy. Arcade Cup, I'm doing what I can. This too shall pass. Hey, Pearly Bond, I heard you're having a difficult day the other day, and you and Danielle texted. The sound is low. I'm not using my microphone. It broke. I don't know why. Here, what if I come closer to the mic? It's, let me see. Well, we're not even using. Let me get this thing out of the way. Hold on. We're not even using this stupid thing. Maybe it's taking. Give me a second, guys. Sound any better? No, probably not. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Is it any better now? I'm talking a little louder, and I'm a little closer to the computer. I'm using the computer mic because my regular mic just went out on me. So, yeah, let's move this a little back. Okay, so how's that? A little better with the sound, Jeff DeLaha? It's still bad, Perla? When's your wedding happening? When is your wedding happening? Hassan Marbet says, look, Doug, you won't believe this, but I got over my depression in a very practical and simple way. I devoted a third of my salary to help the poor and the needy, and as time went by, I felt that. Well, good for you. I mean, usually you're supposed to tithe at 10%. You did 33%. That's extremely generous, and we do know that serving others helps to raise one mood, so you never can tell. Better, Jeff? Okay, I'm closer to the computer, and I'm talking louder, so yeah. Elena Strandberg says, I wish I could be in your group in Portland. Well, I do offer mental health coaching. Go to my website, healingfromdepression.com, and we can do one-on-one stuff. Otherwise, you can get a hold of Greg Sandberg, and you can join his online group, which is running, as far as I know, 24 hours a day. So, yeah, if you go to my website, healingfromdepression.com, and go check out mental health coaching, I can do one-on-one with you for 12 weeks, but in terms of group energy, you should go contact Greg. April 7th, wow, it's coming around the corner, Pearly Bond, about 27 days from now. I feel really bad and I just want to sleep. Well, see if you can take a nap, and then I'm sure you have stuff to do to prepare for the wedding. Ideally, there are 3 ties. Yes, well, there you have it. Thank you, says Helena. Yeah, and I'll give Greg's email address. Thank you, Arcade Cup, for your dollar contribution. There's something called Super Chat down here. You just click on the $, and you can contribute to this channel. Forever Freak says, Pearl, I've been there. There are still days like that for me, not as often. Still up and down. Claire says, is it common to feel worse when you start therapy? For example, I started therapy as soon as I suffered depression, anxiety, and agoraphobia, and for the past 2 weeks I've been suffering several panic attacks. I don't really know. Not necessarily true. The panic attacks I don't think are related to your starting therapy. You might want to talk to your therapist about that. Daniel Pate says 10% to church, 10% to a secular charity, and 10% to a needy friend. Wow. Or family member. Is that you? I thought that was somebody else who was doing that 30%. Hassan says the state of anhedonia disappeared. More than that, I just started to feel the happiness that I've never experienced in my life. Well, congratulations. I mean, I hope that giving away 30% of tithe was doing it. But any time you can get out of a depressive state, even for a day, no matter what you're doing, that's cause for celebration. David Starkweather, our regular tuner inner participant. Hello, I always appreciate your wisdom from Connecticut. Hey, Forever Freak says, hey, David. Hey, Forever Freak, what part of you live? I have a feeling you live in the UK. What part of the world do you live in, Forever Freak? You are 69 still fighting depression? Well, yeah. Winston Churchill was fighting depression his whole life. So was Abraham Lincoln. I mean, it's an ongoing thing. Now, does that mean I'm in the hospital? No. Does that mean I'm suicidal? No. Does that mean I can't function? No. So you can have dealing with depression and still have a pretty decent life. I'm going to my therapist. I'm going on a bike ride. So, you can have diabetes and still have a good life. So what? Hello, Zimilas, Forever Freak, Austin, Texas. Oh, yes, you've told me that before. Lots of sun down there. Scott Bauer, thank you, Hassan, for sharing that. Anhedonia is a really tough condition to break through. Yes, it is. Congratulations. So does that answer your question on Never Ever, that you can still be having, dealing with depression? There's something called dysthymia I have. I have a video on it called Dysthymia, Living with Chronic Low-Grade Depression. I'll type it out there. Dysthymia. It's kind of having a low-grade chronic infection. That's what dysthymia is. Many, many millions of people suffer from it. I'm one of them. So yeah, the depression is there in the background, but it doesn't have to overtake your life and prevent you from having joy. And Deb, geez, I don't think that you're depressed today. The worst thing we can do is expect the bad times all the time. Well, no, I don't. I mean, essentially, depression is cyclic. It's basically comes and it goes, like the sun in Oregon. But it has been very sunny here. Norma, I haven't seen you before. I just started watching videos. Really like the channel. Great. Thank you for keep up the good work. Well, thank you, Nora. If you want to help me keep up the work, I know I pitch this all the time. I sound like a broken record, but you can go to my Patreon page, where it's a page. Patreon is founded by two musicians in San Francisco 5 years ago to help people who are artists like myself and YouTube videographers have a regular base of income so they can continue doing their work. So it's a subscription service. Contribute $2 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month, and you get special rewards and know that you're helping this channel grow and keep on going. So that's the website right there, patreon.com/Douglas Block. Stormy in Ireland. All right, well, you're still in the middle of winter, Enda. David Starkweather, I find the toughest part is maintaining a resolve. You resolve to do something, and then what happens? You resolve to do something or to keep up a certain effort and wilts away the next day. Well, join the club. What about people who are trying to lose weight? What about people who are going to the gym? What about people who are trying to stop smoking or stop drinking? This takes a lot of will and focus, and it's tough for everyone. Still winter for sure, Sen. I know Zome we lost. I feel like everybody's against me and everyone wants to do bad things for me. Well, Zome, or I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right, that is not true. That is a cognitive distortion. You're feeling persecuted when you're probably not. You definitely should seek out mental health treatment for that distortion, because that's something that your brain is creating. It's not real. What's the purpose then? I'm tired. Well, the purpose is because we're living to grow in love and wisdom. That's what Naomi Raymond says in her book, Kitchen Table Wisdom. The purpose of life is to grow in love and wisdom. So relationships, contributing to others, serving others, learning, having periods of joy. There's lots of things to do, even if you have depression off and on. So that's my answer. Never ever. You just became a patron and glad to contribute. Did you become a patron when forever? You mean within the last couple of weeks, or just like in the last couple of minutes? But whenever you did it, thank you. So never ever try to find something in your life that gives you some sort of purpose and meaning. Of course, it's almost impossible when you're depressed, but maybe music, maybe the beautiful sky, I know you like to spend a lot of time here yourself, but other people can be a reason to keep on going. Norma, do you have any comments on SAD, winter extreme climates? Of course, SAD is seasonal affective disorder. You need a light box. I have one right over there. I'm not going to walk away from the computer, but you can. There's something called the Light Book. I'll type it in right here. Go to their website. Tell them I recommended you. It's a portable light box. You can take it around the house with you, or take it when you go places. Yes, light therapy does heal SAD. A few days ago, Forever Freak. Well, thank you for doing that. I do appreciate it. Hello, you all, says Raphael. Daniel Petty really missed 5 people in my life who passed away. Yeah, well, join the club. I'm a lot older than you are, so I've seen a lot more people pass away. Yes, it's when we lose people, they can't be replaced. But hopefully we have other people in our lives that we can feel connected to. Never ever, because you're allowing your thoughts to interpret your narrative. You are judging people for judging you, but you are doing the very same thing, judging them. I didn't know that Never ever was doing that. I guess I must have missed that comment somewhere along the line. All he said was, what was the purpose of life? I don't think he was judging anybody. Oh, yes, you're from Romania. I know you've been here, Georgia. Lila, sure. Can high dopamine level cause depression? Actually, Layla, high dopamine level means the opposite. It means you're feeling good. Now, it can cause schizophrenia. That's one of the theories of schizophrenia, too much dopamine, but it will not cause depression. Usually depression means you have not enough dopamine. Um, so I'm not quite sure. Someone whose name I can't read is from the Middle East keeps saying depression or just anxiety. So I'm not quite sure what the question is, but I suffer from both. Yes, Romania, we've talked about that. My grandmother comes from Romania. I have a fond place in my heart for Romania. Oh, okay. Well, he's attributing a motive to them that they're out to get him. I don't think never ever said that, David Stark. Whether I think it was Zomilas. I can't go all the way back on this live chat, unfortunately, but but I don't think never ever said any such thing. So that's all I can tell you as far as I know. Maybe I'll try this and see if I know. Oh, it did work, huh? Well, let me go and see who said that. I don't think it was never ever who said that people were against him. I'm trying to look up. Hello, Zomilas. Well, I feel like everybody is against me. Yes, David Stark. That's not. I never ever didn't say that. It was XOM who said that. So just letting you know. Have I ever taken lithium, Douglas? Yes, I tried it when I was in my last episode. I'm bipolar 2. It didn't do much, but it's helped a lot of people I know. I take something called Lamictal, which is very similar. Revenue name is Yaha, just for your information. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that, Nora. Tina LeGrand, I have a rare blood disorder called acute intermittent porphyria. I've heard of that. I've heard bad days, but somehow I find a way to keep going as a daily struggle. Thank you for your videos. You're more than welcome. Yes, I know. I have a friend who has porphyria. I think isn't it a bacterial infection? I'm not quite sure. Time for some water, everybody. Pearly Ben looks like she's frowning. Well, anyway, thank you, new subscribers. We've had a great subscriber growth rate. We have 9,000 now. We're going for 10,000. Thank you for telling your friends about the channel. I highly recommend you see the video I posted on Monday called Why Depressed People Have Low Self-Esteem. There's a very funny part where I imitate Muhammad Ali. I should actually get my show it to you on my my phone. It's very, very funny. I'll have it queued up for Sunday. How's that? Deborah Haley, nice to see you again, Deborah. I now see how desperation leads people to drug use. When doctors don't help, a person gives up. Yes, well, we should never give up. Pearly Bonda, we seem similarly hopeless at the moment. Cheryl, have you contacted Greg? Don't hate them, my mistake. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Mustafa UV, is smoking increase anxiety and OCD? I don't think so. Well, smoking is a minor. Well, it has what's nicotine. I thought that was a mood elevator. So I don't think smoking increases anxiety or OCD. For some people, it helps with anxiety. Something less that's common. The writer Dostoevsky wrote that it was always easy to love people in the abstract, much harder one-on-one. Yes, Dostoevsky was quite right. Arcade Cup, I asked this before I lost my note. Any recommendations on a good bike that I could get? I'll only spend a little extra. Yes, you should go to your local store, go online and you look for this bike. You can get a good bike for $500, commuter bike. This is the best bike for your money, Arcade. It's called Specialized. Check it out. You can get a comfort bike or you can get a road bike. Probably $1,000 for a good road bike. I don't know which one you want, but they make very good bikes at very reasonable prices. Maybe I'll go ahead and play that for you if I can find my little. I think you guys would like it. I'm looking for this. You're welcome, Arcade Cup. I'm going to my studio and I'm looking for this video that was very funny. Let's go to overview. Let's go to videos. Let's go why people with depression. Let's go to okay, we're getting to it. Okay, check this out, guys. Why can't I do anything right? Say that enough times to yourself and you will definitely feel bad. Now, what is the antidote to such negative self-talk like Charlie Brown's? Well, one obvious way is to build your self-esteem by using positive affirmations and talk yourself up. I guess my favorite affirmation was said by the iconic boxer Muhammad Ali, who would proclaim, "I am the greatest." Imagine if you believed in that all day long. Another cool affirmation. There you have it. Okay, well, that was my imitation of Muhammad Ali, for what it's worth. You did join Greg Trooks. I'm cutting down my fluoxetine as I feel that this made me even worse. Anhedonic. No drive to do anything these past few weeks. Go talk to your therapist, Scott. Mustafa, do you remember I'm the guy who solicited? I feel good in recovery. Thank you very much. Yes, Cheryl and Perla, you should definitely give each other's phone numbers or start texting each other. Zomalos, what if we don't love people and don't want to serve them? I don't love people, I don't hate them. I feel a big scorn for people. Well, you should talk to that in therapy because people connections are really important to mental health. I love how ghetto this is. Yes. You see my imitation of Muhammad Ali? Very funny. I'm glad you like it. Now, I haven't watched Last Shame in Bada Bing. What is it about? David Scholar, that's what happened to me. Paxil. Well, Scott, if fluoxetine or Prozac is not helping you, I would basically do something else. My name is Yaha. I smoke and take Prozac, but I really feel my depression has not been treated yet. Well, it's probably the case. There's like millions of antidepressants out there you probably haven't tried. Victoria Campbell from New Zealand. What time is it, New Zealand, Victoria? Well, all these new people. I know I'm getting new subscribers. But I only have one prescriber. He's a nurse practitioner, but he's retiring in April, so I got to find a new one. By the way, Stephen Hawking died last night, the great cosmologist. I hope you've been following him, and I recommend a movie called The Theory of Everything about his life. You said there was a law of the universe, that nothing is permanent. Is it true in both ways? Does that mean we have to be patient? Yes, it means that the good times don't last, but neither do the bad times, which is nice when you're in the bad time. But of course we have to be patient. Things don't always happen overnight. You know what my mom used to say, Rome wasn't built in a day. Any advice about getting out and making connections after a period of isolation? Sure. Join a meetup group, meetup.com, all over the world. That's a good way to meet people. Take a class of something you're interested in. You'll meet your classmates that way. Join a book club. Here we are. I'll go to meetup.com. Go to this site, and any interest you have, they will basically have something for you. My dad is taking it bad about Hawking. Why, Danielle? I mean, he was 76. He lived an amazing life, and much longer than people predicted because he had ALS. But yes, he was a great man. 2:23 a.m. in New Zealand. Wow. So you are what? 14 hours ahead of us. Wow. Scott, sometimes doctors will balance an SSRI with an SNRI or even an antipsychotic. Thank you, Not So Scared. 25 pounds. That was very, very generous of you. Wow. Do appreciate that. Thank you very much. You're at the top of the class. Please ask any question you want. And also, if you would like to do something monthly, just go to my Patreon site. But yes, thank you for that lovely generation contribution. I noticed that when I smoke to try to relieve anxiety, I notice it becomes worse. If you have anxiety, then don't try to smoke. I take it you're talking about smoking cigarettes as opposed to pot. You haven't seen the movie yet? You will love Eddie Redmayne in this movie, Forever Freak. He won the Oscar for Best Actor, for heaven's sakes. Watch that movie in the next 24 hours. Bada Bing, it's about a very depressed guy that tried everything available in the Western world. He used to go to treatment in Brazil with a shaman and the help of ayahuasca. Oh yeah, well, there's a lot of shaman people in Brazil, and I've known people who have tried ayahuasca. It's a very potent psychoactive drug, plant, herb. You got to be really stable to take that thing. It could really set you off and make things worse. So if you're going to take that, you better have a shaman who knows what they're doing. I would never try it. It would be way too triggering for me. My dad just adored him in the same egg. Well, tell your dad I give him my condolences. I love Stephen Hawking also. The greatest mind since Albert Einstein, and Albert Einstein's birthday is today. How ironic. Smoking only makes it worse. Caffeine too. So you must mean smoking cigarettes. Caffeine helps. Yes, caffeine helps me. It's a natural antidepressant. Zome, this is absolutely true. I'm not quite sure what is absolutely true, but smoking only makes things worse. Again, you haven't talked to me whether it's smoking nicotine or marijuana, but oh well. So it's 8:24 a.m. says Victoria Campbell. Is that where? Where are you, Victoria Campbell? Are you in New Zealand? Well, that's only what are we? 12. Yeah, that's 16 hours away. Actually, 20 hours away. How to break up the circle of loneliness, says More Gold. I do not have so many friends. That's a very good question. Loneliness is a big problem, especially in Western culture. Again, joining a support group, going to meetup.com, taking a class. What about your local church or synagogue or spiritual community? You can meet. Try to go places where people are. I remember being upset against Bradley Cooper. What was an upset against Bradley Cooper? I'm not quite sure what that means, a forever freak. David Starkweather, I think I'll pass on the Oscar treatment. Something about shitting and puking doesn't appeal to me. Yes, it's a very, very, very powerful substance. And boy, I've known people who have gone down there to take it to raise their consciousness. It is certainly not for everybody. Definitely not for everybody. Bada bing, I know. It's the message in the documentary, How to Find Your Self-Love Again. Watch it. Okay, why don't you email that to me? I haven't given out my email address yet. Here is right here. DouglasBlog@gmail.com. Go ahead and send me the link to that movie about the person who went to Brazil to get healed. Scott Bauer, I live in the UK. The National Health's mental health is pretty much collapsing due to funding cuts. I wouldn't mind trying an SNRI, but they won't let me have anything they don't prescribe. Well, why doesn't the National Health Service prescribe an SNRI? That's a legitimate kind of antidepressant. These are very, very, very good medications. They've been tested, so I don't get it. I mean, Effexor is one of them. I think Luvox is another. There's a new one called Trindolex. Raymond is winning the Oscar against American. Oh, I see. So Bradley Cooper took it away from him for American Sniper. What do you think about TMS, says Paulo Mihal, transcranial magnetic stimulation? If you go to my YouTube channel, which you're on, and type in TMS, you will find a video. I think very highly of it. It has helped a number of my clients. It's a kinder, gentler form of ECT, and I think you should try it if it's available. Mike Levitt was hospitalized the last 2 days due to bad reaction to Lexapro. Well, there you have it. Yes, SSRIs can create. I had a bad reaction to Lexapro in 2015. It sent me into a 9-month depressive episode. So yeah, I would say that SSRIs, you should really start really, really, really small. How many milligrams did you take? On Lexapro, I would start at 5. Anyway, I hope you're feeling better, Mike. If anyone used counseling apps like Talkspace or BetterHelp, I don't know, but you go send those to me, Danielle. You text me all the time. Send me the names of those apps. Scott, the antidote and listlessness is what I'm battling with now. Reducing SSRI is probably a good idea, but beware of increased anxiety. And if I think that minute doses of psilocybin, Gracablan are being considered a new treatment for depression. They are. I think you mean psilocybin, don't you, NF? I'm not quite sure what that word is. Victoria Campbell from New Zealand. I've been off antidepressants for a long time, but still need sleeping pill at night. That's okay. A lot of people need some help for sleep. Ruby Morton, as in some sort of, in relation to Scott Bauer. The National Health Service, especially for younger people, and the CAMHS only prescribes SSRIs such as Prozac and Zoloft. SNRIs and antipsychotics generally aren't given under the age of 18. Yeah, but I don't think Scott is under 18. Al Malty, you can find it also Netflix. Yes, well, I don't even remember what the name of this place is. DouglasBlog@gmail.com. Not so scared. Thank you for all you do. I recently set up a Patreon account recently. Keep up your amazing work. Well, God bless you. Thank you so much. I hope you're not so scared anymore. Fear can be really a bummer. I started at 10, then went to 20, back down to 10 for anxiety. I'm on Ativan. That's a good antidepressant. Anonymous. I'm also considering TMS because I don't really like taking antidepressants. Well, a lot of people have bad reactions to antidepressants, so TMS is a worthwhile alternative. YSM2202@hotmail.com. I don't know what that means. Is a psychoactive ingredient in psychedelics. Yes. It's called psilocybin and F. I've been watching videos. They're very helpful. Thank you, Swiss Heart. Haven't seen you before. It's hell to have a bad reaction, definitely. Oh, yeah, I've had two of them. One to Effexor, one to Lexapro. Both plummeted me into depressive episodes. You will not see me taking an SSRI for as long as I live. I can tell you that right now. Not for Douglas George Block. Mike Theprog, another new person. My God, we're getting flooded with new people today. Hallelujah! Hey, time for a joke. For me, psychiatric medications are worse than hopeful. I'm finding out a lot of strength in myself. I am only 19 going through horrible SSRI withdrawal. Sorry to hear that. So, King Arthur and the Round Table, all you Brits. You know who invented the Round Table? A very famous knight. His name was Circumference. Don't you like that? Why did the Scarecrow not eat his dinner? Well, he was already stuffed. Not too bad, huh? All right, 2 puns. I would tell a long story about it. There are too many comments coming in too fast. I don't want to miss your comments. Anyway, Mike, I'm glad you're finding a lot of inner strength. Scott says, thanks, David. That's what I thought. I have depersonalization, so to be honest, a bit of anxiety could make me feel a little more alive. I'm 30. They're still very reluctant to prescribe anything but SSRIs and CBT for anything. That's bad. You know, can't you find a psychiatrist outside or a nurse practitioner outside of the mental health system in Britain? Man, I mean, in America, we have crummy mental health, but at least we get to choose who we get to see. David Starkwood says, Scott, I think BPDR is generally a result of anxiety. If you don't worry about it, it will eventually go away. I agree with you, David. It is a lot connected to anxiety. Paolo says, can I tell if antidepressants are working in a few days? Not really. Sometimes they take 4 to 6 weeks. Mike, Douglas had terrible reaction to Lexapro and I'm now tapering it. Induced me horrible suicidal thoughts. I've been feeling tapering really slow. It will take me 2 years. 2 years for 20 milligrams? Maybe you're right, but yes, Lexapro. I have a video called The Deadly Side Effect of Antidepressants, especially about how Paxil really drove one man to the brink. So yes, you got to take these SSRIs in very small doses to begin with. Titrate up. I know I'm not the only one. Many people besides me have had bad reactions. Private mental health is extraordinary compared with that of the NHS, even very much more expensive. What are you going to do? That's a tough situation. Mike Levitt says, bad reaction to Prozac, bad reaction to Effexor, and now bad reaction to Lexapro. Why are you taking these things, Mike? After Prozac, you should have known that SSRIs are not your cup of tea. Please don't take another SSRI. Of course, talk to your doctor. I'm not prescribing for you, but I had a bad reaction to Prozac, to Zoloft, to Paxil, to Lexapro, and Effexor. 5 bad reactions to 5 SSRIs. Man, you don't think I'm going to take them again. David Starkwood says it's taken me a year to cut Paxil from 20 milligrams to 10. Well, Paxil especially is very hard to get rid of or taper off of. You can have really bad side effects, so I can see why you're taking it slow. That's smart, David Starkwood. 34 minutes gone on March 14th, the birthday of Albert Einstein. The day after the great cosmologist Stephen Hawking passed away, I recommend the movie Theory of Everything, starring Eddie Redmayne. Oscar for Best Actor. That's a good question, Doug. I'm depressed for some release. Why don't you take Wellbutrin? That hasn't ever given me any trouble. And there's many other drugs that are not SSRIs. Again, I'm not going to prescribe obviously over the internet, but you definitely should talk to your doctor about other alternatives to SSRIs. Wellbutrin right here. I want to stop clonazepam, how? I take only 0.5 milligrams a day. Well, you could probably, I took 0.5 milligrams a day for 9 months and I just stopped. But talk to your doctor. You could probably go to 0.25 and then from 0.25 to 0. I've seen people taper off of Klonopin. Do it under medical supervision. Anonymous, it's also Pi Day. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Pi meaning 3.14159. That's right. The great, the area of a circle is pi r squared. Thank you very much, Anonymous. I abused Wellbutrin and went to rehab for it. How could you abuse Wellbutrin, Mike Levitt? Tell me about it. It doesn't get me high. It just keeps me even. David Starkweather, the good news is that 10 milligrams plus is a very small dose. That was enough to get rid of the tiredness. Just had to learn to deal with anxiety. Well, have you been? And how is it doing for your depression? What is considered long-term use of benzos? Well, it depends on the person. You know, I've known people who've been on benzos for 3 or 4 years. Is it a good thing to do? Not necessarily, but for those people, they need it. It's a very, benzos, it's an individual case. Obviously, you should try not to be on them because of the potential for dependency, but if you have an anxiety disorder that's not getting any relief from things like CBT or exposure or exercise, then benzos can have their place. But again, ideally, they're only for the short term. Snorting Wellbutrin, stupid. Gives you effects similar to cocaine. Really? My God. I'm going to try it right after this live chat. God, you've made my day, Mike Levitt. No, you haven't. I'm just making a stupid joke. You can cure anxiety or mood without drugs. Does yoga help for anxiety? Yeah, yoga really helps for anxiety. I recommend you try things besides drugs initially, but if those things don't work, then drugs, antidepressants, antipsychotic drugs can be helpful for some people. So, but I always believe the natural way should go first. That's what I write about in my book, right here. I haven't even plugged it. Healing from Depression, a Body, Mind, and Spirit Recovery Program, right here. I wrote it 20 years ago. It's basically, it has my heart and soul in it, and it's a really good book. You can get it at Amazon.com UK or Amazon.com. It's 12 weeks. Every strategy and technique I've ever learned about healing from depression and anxiety is in that book. Hi, everybody, says Valentina. I'm living with anxiety for 13 years. I need to tell you that anxiety, like it's a part of you, you will feel really good when it comes. Well, really, an interesting way to put it, when you hug anxiety like it's a part of you. Well, you are right, Valentina. It is good to accept what you have and not to try to push it away. I don't know if you'll feel really good when it comes, but it's good to, acceptance is a really important part of dealing with anxiety and depression. People even inject Wellbutrin? My God, look at all I'm learning from you, Mike. Amazing. Well, don't do it, any of you guys who think about it. Not a good idea. You should take Wellbutrin as prescribed orally. Scott Barry, yes, David, my DP was a result of borderline anxiety depression, flare up. But since then, positive and negative states seem to have drifted away. Well, that's good. To leave me empty? Well, Scott, you got to find something else to fill you up. Is Prozac self-tapping? I have no idea what that question is. Paolo, you may have to re-say it. Scott Bauer, I don't really fear or get sad anymore. It's just like I'm watching my life go by in a state of indifference. Well, that could be depersonalization. So Scott, go take your bicycle and ride up Rocky Butte like I do. And when you get to the top and you're out of breath, you will feel endorphins. You need to get some endorphins going. Go exercise and get your heart rate up to 80 to 90% for a half hour. You will definitely feel not indifferent. My favorite affirmation, this too shall pass. I wrote did I go on, mate? I'm not even quite sure how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. So here's my favorite affirmation. This too shall. And there you have it. Dave Wood, is it something that just can be managed rather than healed? You're absolutely correct, David Wood. I have a video called Seek to Manage, Not Cure Your Depression. That's right. It's a managed disorder like diabetes, like asthma. It's managed. It is not cured. What's my favorite food, Ruby Morin? I love Italian food, spaghetti and marinara sauce or pesto on Linguini. Can't stop asking this, why I got anxiety 25 years ago, just a teen. Well, I got anxiety when I was 6. What can I tell you? Some people are just born with it. So yes, David Wood, did I answer your question about managing rather than healing? But in the managing is the healing. Wow. I really relate to your saying, David Wood, if going through hell don't stop. You wrote, person myself as a natural artist who suffer from depression. Absolutely correct. So, yes, people who are artists are more likely to suffer from depression. It's just been around. It's been known for many, many years. What else? Forever Freak. I have asthma as well. Vocal cord dysfunction. I don't know what that is, but are you managing it? Valentine says, X-Read, you don't have anymore. I'm not quite sure what you're talking about, but anyway. Don't do it for you all, says Mike Levitt. It ruined my life once, and I started submitting reviews, and I ended up doing 2 90-day scripts at 300 milligram within 2 weeks, and ended up in rehab. Of course, no one would want to snort Wellbutrin. That would be abusing that medication. Valentina, I would like to tell you how I live with my anxiety, but I don't know English as well. Well, sound like your English is pretty good from what I can tell. So, again, today's the birthday of Albert Einstein, and again, my video to check out on Monday is called Why Do People Who Suffer from Depression Have Low Self-Esteem? Temperament, bad upbringing, negative criticism from parents, but you can get over it. You can use affirmations, you can use exercise, you can, nothing succeeds like success. You can do small tasks that you can complete, and that gives you a sense of self-esteem. Affirmations are good. There was the I am the greatest I played from Muhammad Ali. So there's a number of ways you can help your self-esteem if you're depressed. And that's what I talk about in Monday's video. Then Monday coming up video is about the connection between depression and alcoholism. We have a member of my group who's recovering from both, and she shares her insights. Forever Freak, vocal cords block the airways, speech therapy, and heartburn medications. Certain foods, avoiding certain foods, I see. But it's hard. Well, I'm Forever Freak, you have my compassion. David, Mike Libet, aren't the results of swimming ability only for one time? I think most tend to get that effect only once, but never again. Paula, is Prozac self-tapering? It has a long half-life, so it's much easier to taper off of Prozac. Scott Barrett, do you have TP? David, did you get over it? Year and a half so far. I'm actually more bored of it by now. Depersonalization, what are you talking about? Mike Levitt, depends on how much you're doing. One day I did 3,000 milligrams. Ruben Moore, Pablo, no, you don't need to alter your dosage per milligram to taper off and on Prozac. Yeah, well, again, anytime you're going to taper off a drug, anytime you're going to change the dosage of a medication, you must consult your prescriber. You know what someone said, anybody who's his own doctor has a fool for a physician. Positive say, hello everyone. Hello, Douglas. You did miss 44 minutes, and I'm getting off at 12:52 because I have a therapy session to go to at 1 o'clock my time. Fortunately, it's only 3 blocks away, but my therapist had a migraine yesterday and rescheduled for 1. Normally, I wouldn't do that because I like to be here exactly to 1, but hey, I need therapy just like everybody else. David Starkweather says, Scott, I intended to interpret DPDR as dizziness, but I know that's what it is because it's when I get too into my thoughts and I have to back off. It always goes away in short order. Okay. Does sleep apnea cause anxiety and depression? Absolutely, Paulo. If you're not, sleep apnea means when you stop breathing many times during your sleep, it disrupts your sleep. It leads to all sorts of problems, including heart disease. If you have sleep apnea, you should definitely get it corrected, and it definitely can because of the sleep disruption lead to both anxiety and depression. So get a sleep study. If you have sleep apnea, there are things called CPAP machines you can use to clear the airways during night so you won't stop breathing. Excellent. All right. Time for a joke? Let's go into my joke book and see what we've got. This might be a little bit, well, my DR is 24/7, which would go away for a few minutes. How do I feel about Seroquel, Mike Levitt? It's amazing. Helps people sleep. I mean, known a lot of people. It's an antipsychotic used for schizophrenia, but now it's used for anxiety, and it's a good sleep medication. It will definitely knock you out. I'm hoping to take a sleep study because I think it definitely plays a role in my life, my daily mood. Although my DPDR is rather mild, I admit it. So, man goes to church. He's very, very impressed by the sermon. He goes to shake the preacher's hand, says, "That was a damn fine sermon. Damn fine." The preacher says, "Thank you, sir, but I'd rather you not use profanity in the house of the Lord." And the man says, "In fact, it was such a damn good service, I put $10,000 in the collection box." The preacher says, "No shit." So much for profanity. All right, let's keep taking some more questions. I was on trazodone for sleep apnea, and now I'm on Seroquel. Well, Seroquel will definitely help you sleep, Mike Levitt. How is it? Is it helping you sleep? Let me know. Yes. I wondered why the ball was getting bigger, and then it hit me. Another good pun. So yes, Mike Levitt, let me know how Seroquel is working for you. It's helped a lot of my clients, a lot. That was a cute joke. Yes, a little bit of a swear word, but it was still very cute. Big No is the man to go for the DP and DR. Yes, Mike Levitt, I agree with you. Noah is a friend of mine. We have lunch once every month together. We both live in Portland, although he lives in Beaverton, which is the middle of nowhere. We still manage to get together. And yes, he's gone through depersonalization, derealization himself, unlike me. So, health anxiety is worse than regular anxiety. Yes, health anxiety is horrible. You're essentially imagining you've got all sorts of diseases and problems. It's like hypochondria, and nobody can talk you out of it, and it can drive you nuts. So I agree. Nobody wants to have health anxiety. Thank you, Perla. You're getting your machine tomorrow, but neither DR or Psych asked about my sleep. I discovered on the sleep app, Sleep Cycle. Well, all right. Good for you. Well, if you have sleep apnea, a machine will help. Perla Bond, you have sleep apnea too? Well, you need to get a CPAP machine to deal with it. And the F, I've experienced DP and DR. I think it's the most unsavory aspect of depression and anxiety. So many people are telling me about it. I'm glad I haven't experienced it. If I had, I'd tell you guys how to get out of it, but I simply haven't had that happen. Seroquel seems to help Doug for sure. Thank you, Mac Levitt, for telling me that. Scott Power says, I think I was suffering for years with DP episodes without knowing it, just passing off as dissociation, and now it's become the disorder. Forever Freak, Big No is definitely a channel you all should check out. Yes, Forever Freak is big on Big No, and I am too. Once you realize most of your symptoms are psychosomatic, it's a big step to feeling better. Are you talking about health anxiety? Oh, Pearl, you've got health anxiety. Okay, not sleep apnea. Well, in that case, you got to just tell yourself, I'm whole and well. Every morning, wake up and tell yourself, oh hell, I'm well. Oh hell, I'm well. That'd be a good thing to do. David Starkman says, Scott, same here. It was just my normal for a long time, sort of like I was underwater. Didn't even know there was a name for it. Well, there is. And F, you have to exercise and get busy doing flow activities. No other way, as my experience tells me. Oh, you know about the book Flow? Excellent, and it's a great book. I'm going to do a video on it one day. Mike Levitt says, big no, got help from Doug, so they both give great advice. Well, I did help him. He came to my depression support group when he was really, really bad off, but with the help of the group, he pulled himself out of it. Now he's giving back to the world all that he's learned, just like I'm doing the same. We're partners in becoming and being wounded healers, taking what we've learned in our struggle and sharing with others. Big No is the man. He's definitely got, he understands depression, anxiety like I do from the inside out from our own experience. So that's why we give good advice. Scott Barrow says, I've heard that people recover from DR after 10 odd years. I hope it's not yet lost. No, you can recover from anything. I mean, the brain can heal itself. I just wish I knew more about it, but trust me, you can get over DP or DR. I'll ask Noah, what his experience has been. Well, it's 10 of the hour. Time for me to close up shop here. We normally go to 1, but I have an appointment at 1, and my therapist does not like it when I'm late. So, Pearly Bonus, Scott, same here. I still have hope. That's a good note to end on. After I sign off from this live talk, you guys can continue to chat with each other for at least 10 minutes, I believe. I would say that at the beginning there were 2 people who are going through the same thing. Always exchange phone numbers or email addresses so you keep on communicating with each other. Again, if you want to email me, my email address is right here, douglasblock@gmail.com. And if you want to basically participate in Greg Sandler's online support group, simply email him. He's not here today, but tell him I sent you, HELLO, I'm GREGG at gmail.com. Here we go. So, Edna, always glad, Enda. I keep on saying Edna, E-D-N-A, because that's an American name, but Enda, I've never heard that name before. So, Enda, best wishes to you too. We'll see you next time. Thank you, Forever Freak. I love my therapist, a great lady. So, thank you all. And Mike Levitt is giving out his your phone number. You must be out of the United States. That's not an American area code. All right, everybody. See you Sunday, 2 days before spring, March 18th. And until we meet again, I wish you the best in your mental health recovery. Keep chatting after I sign off. Thank you very much for